Good evening, otherworldlies. This is Juliana Angel, your Dark Mask Diva. How's everyone doing today? Well, I've had a wonderful day. I got to go to the park with one of my friends today, and we just went and sat outside and got some sunshine. And then we went and ate at a restaurant, a Persian restaurant. The food was so delicious. I just had an amazing day, and I went and ran some errands, and things went so well. I went to the pharmacy, and guess what, otherworldlies? No bozos. No bozos at the pharmacy. Yeah. That almost never happens. There's almost at least one bozo at the pharmacy every time I go in there. I went to the pharmacy, went right in, got my medicine, blood pressure medicine, right? No bozos. It was a good day. Ran an errand, found a building that I've been looking for. Found that office building, there it was. It wasn't that far away, so I know where it is now. So next time I need to go to that office, I will know exactly where it is. So it wasn't that far away after all, and I'm really glad I found it. So it's a good day. So it looks like I'm just going to make some videos until Zen gets home, and it was just a great day. Had a great day with my friend, and anyway, so it's time to make some content, right? All right, So I thought I would just talk about these people. I'm going to talk about are I don't want to exactly call them bozos, but they're people who are disruptive, right? Okay, these are people who are disruptive. They are the kind of people when you are trying to get ready to go somewhere and do something, and you're meeting them up for plans. They are, for some reason, they are suffering. Oh, I've got about 4 questions lined up. So every time you hear that noise, that's a question. So I'm sorry if that's disruptive. Kind of disruptive to me. These are people who you're meeting up to have plans with them, and they won't stop calling you and texting you. Okay, do you see what's wrong with that situation? All right, clearly they have anxiety for some reason that you're not going to follow through the plans. All right, how would you feel if someone was doing that to you? Pretty annoyed, right? Okay, personally, when I'm getting ready to do something, I really don't want the distraction. I want to take a bath, right? Find something to wear, get ready, and do whatever I need to do to leave the house and go meet that person so we can go do the thing, right? I don't want to stop and keep texting and, yes, I'm coming. Yes, I'm coming. Like, why would you keep texting me and doing that? I'm not late. I'm not flaky. Why would they keep texting me? Are we still on? And that sort of thing. Why would they do a thing like that? I can actually explain why they would do that. It's really annoying. First of all, they need to stop doing that. But I'll explain kind of where that's coming from. The people that do that, they're control freaks. Some people are a little bit more wound up than other people. Okay, if you've ever been late, like back in 1985 or something like that, they're never going to let you forget it. They're going to go, you're not going to run late, are you? You're not going to be late, are you? Because you were late like one time, like 40 years ago or something. They're never going to let you forget it, and they're going to make you think that you run late all the time. Okay, stuff happens. I don't know what that's all about. But I'm one of those people, I try to be punctual all the time. I really don't like being distracted and disrupted and that kind of thing. I like to just do what I'm going to do and not be distracted. Ironically, when you're getting ready to go do something and someone keeps texting you and bothering you all the time, what's that doing? They're distracting you and they're disrupting you from getting ready and going, right? So see what they're doing? They're delaying the process of you getting ready and coming to meet them. So they're actually manifesting the problem. They're making you late. Okay? So what I was saying was the reason they're like that is because they've had some kind of trauma. Okay, they've had some kind of abandonment trauma, or they feel like they're not likable. Well, they're acting unlikable, aren't they? Okay, they have some kind of they've had trauma. They have some kind of chemical imbalance. Okay, to be that obnoxious, to act that unlikable. Okay, to be that annoying, to bug somebody that much. If they keep, texting you and trying to call you and stuff like that. Okay, this is what you need to do if you're dealing with a person like that. Okay, so like this is somebody you've known for years and years, and maybe they're like a nice person, but they just have this problem. Okay. Now, I've had a lot of people like that in my life, and I've had to get rid of a lot of these people because they were just too much. Like, they would not stop doing things like this, and I don't really tolerate it. Right? It's too much of a bozo trait. And I'm just not going to let people harass and pester me and stuff like that, because people that usually have this trait have other traits that are like this, and it's disrespectful, okay, to bug people and that kind of thing. But they come from a place to where they feel unwanted. They were abandoned. They don't have boundaries. So, ironically, they're texting and calling and bothering someone when someone is trying to get ready to come see them and meet them somewhere. Well, if you don't want me to be late, why are you keeping texting me and calling me and delaying the process of me getting ready? That doesn't make any sense. I already said I'm going to be there, and why don't you leave me alone so I can get ready? I don't understand what you're doing. Stop texting me. To me, that doesn't make sense. Why don't you just leave somebody alone and let them get ready? I don't, but it's control. It's a control thing. When I was talking about the other bozos that get in your personal space, where they're staring at you all the time. They follow you when you're trying to be on the phone with somebody else, and that kind of thing. The bozos from the other video. Okay, these bozos are controlling too. Okay, I remember one time. I had a friend that, I no longer talk to anymore. This is back in the days when everyone was first getting cell phones. And it was like, that's when the bozo traits really came out in people. That's when people were constantly having to text and constantly, it was just kind of like, cell phones were kind of another way, like add alcohol or add money or add alcohol. It's like you really see the reality come out in people. It's like, okay, you really, the bozo traits really came out in people when you see people that just will not stop calling, will not stop texting. You're like, okay, I see the control traits coming out in people. So, I said, okay, I need you to meet me at the supermarket across the street from my house. Because there wasn't going to be a place for her to park. So, and I did not want her showing up early and coming to my apartment and bringing all her kids inside, because her kids are out of control. So, that's one thing you do when you have a controlling person in your life is you don't have them meet you at your house, okay? Because they will come in and let their kids run all over the place. And you'll have to stop what you're doing, of course, and discipline their kids, because they won't. Their kids will touch everything. Their kids will break things. Their kids will get hurt. You will have to stop what you're doing and discipline their kids. I've had more than one person in my life like that. And then you're the bad guy because you won't let their children destroy your property. And then their kids are going to cry and scream, and you're going to have to pull, shards of broken glass out of their skin, and you're really mean for that. So, you know what I'm saying? So, and you're going to have to keep them from, hurting your animals and that kind of thing. And breaking your collectibles that are worth a lot of money, and they're just going to stand there like, They have all that energy to be controlling, but they refuse to control their own children. But they're trying to control you. And they just won't let you do what you need to do to come meet them on time. You see the irony in that? They will not control themselves. They will not control the people they need to control, but they are trying to control you. That's the bizarre thing about controlling people. They're disconnected from reality. They don't think logically. Okay, so never let them meet you at your house. They will also keep changing times to meet. They will keep trying to make it earlier and earlier and earlier and earlier. And then they will show up even earlier. Yeah. And they will keep bothering you. Are you going to be late? Are you going to be late? And you're like, you keep making it earlier and then asking me if I'm going to be late. Because you want to drop by even earlier. And then you're going to say, hurry up. You're here an hour early and you're telling me to hurry up. Okay, that's a controlling thing. But I remember when I first got the cell phone, she showed up early, and she's in the parking lot. She called me and said she was there, and I said, "Oh, okay, you're early." She's there an hour early, but I was already packed and ready, and I said, "I'll be right there in 5 minutes." So, I left the house. I'm walking across the street, pulling my little suitcase thingy. We're going away for the weekend. And I see her I see her standing there by her van, and she's on her phone, and she's standing there with her face is just beet red, and she's calling on the phone over and over and over, and I'd already answered her and said I was coming. I don't know why she thought she had to call me over and over and over and over. But I was just, and I was just walking, and I could hear my phone ringing in my purse. And I was just, and she wasn't looking up. She was just kind of stomping around, and her face was beet red, and she kept calling on the phone, and I kept hearing it ring in my purse, and I wouldn't get it. And I just kept walking towards her, and I kept looking at her, and she's going, and her face just kept getting redder and redder and redder, and I just kept walking towards her and looking at her, and she's like, and she's just having a complete and total meltdown. And she's like, "I was calling you." And I said, "Well, I didn't want to be late. I'm not going to answer a ringing phone when I don't want to be late. I'm not going to let myself get distracted like that. Why would I answer a ringing phone? My goal is to be on time." And I just looked at her. I go, "Why would you call me anyway? I already said I was on my way." I just looked at her. What on earth did you need to tell me? And she goes, "Well, I was just going to come and pick you up at your house." And I go, "But I didn't want you to. I already said I was on my way." And she was just she just had herself so worked up. And I'm thinking, who does that to themselves? I was just like, wow. Have you tried meditation? Maybe you should get a fish tank in your house, or one of those things, one of those little waterfall thingies. You guys know what I'm talking about? But it was just what did you do before people got cell phones? But I mean, she was just she was just having this total freaking meltdown. What? The level of her getting herself upset, I really could not believe what I was watching. It was almost, how could she let herself get that upset over it? And she had her 3 little kids in the van. Really? 2 more questions. So, she says, "I was worried you were going to be late." I go, "I've been walking towards you for the last 5 minutes. All you had to do was look up." It's like, you need a little bit of peace in your life, I just kind of shook my head like, I'm here. And, that was the friend I recently had to cut off because she, 20 years later, she was still acting like that. She was still, constantly still trying to text me, still trying to pick me up at my house. I still would never let her pick me up at my house because of that kind of stuff. She still just never learned her lesson with me. It's just absolutely insane. But she came from a lot of trauma. But if you're getting ready and people won't stop texting you, asking you if you're going to be ready, say, I will be ready at this time. I will meet you at this place. We will not change the plan. I will meet you here. Do not text me again. If you really want to be that assertive about it, don't text me again. If you want to be that assertive about it. Or if you want to be more passive about it, don't answer the texts. And if they want to huff and puff and give themselves some kind of condition over it, that's between them and their doctor and God. You can watch them, from across the street have a meltdown. Why didn't you answer because I already told you I was meeting you over here, and I was busy walking over here. I was busy doing what I was supposed to be doing. I'm not going to answer a text when I needed to get ready. That was my job. Eventually, people like that, the end goal, if they don't stop doing stuff like that, you will have to get them out of your life. I mean, that's eventually what I had to do. I have to get people like that out of my life, because that particular friend, just 20 years later, she still did not learn her lesson with me. You don't do that. Don't reward them texting you over and over and having, pitching a little fit and stuff like that. Don't text them back. Just say, no, we're not going to change the plan. I'm going to meet you over here. Stop texting me. Let me get ready. I'm going to be there like I said I was going to be there. I'm afraid you're going to be late. Well, stop being afraid. I will if you keep texting me. You're distracting me. Stop distracting me. Because what they're doing, they're creating a situation. They're manifesting their own worst fears. You guys know about manifesting, right? They're manifesting their own worst fears. All right? And they're actually creating a negative situation for you. All right? That's some bozo stuff right there. Okay? They're very negative for that. And you could either passively resist. You can tell them, knock it off, or you could just not be in their life anymore. But the whole thing is you can't let them come to your house, because they will try to control the situation. People like that feel out of control. They think they're victims. I talked about being a victim, right? There's no victims on my channel. Nobody's a victim over here. We're all winners. We're all champions. We're all the best over here, right? There's no victims over here. Bozos are the victims, right? They're all losers. Okay, they're all trying to control everything, but we're all in control over here. So we're all using this over here. So we have different choices. Get them out of our life. Tell them to stop it, or just resist whatever they're doing. But in the end, we are going to win. So just know they're coming from trauma. They're coming from fear. Okay? They're just coming from insecurity. They're coming from some kind of chemical imbalance. Okay, something's not right upstairs. Okay, whatever's going on is not your fault. They're trying to control the situation because they just feel so out of control. People like that feel that life has dealt them the bad hand. They might be good people in a lot of different ways. They might have been a good friend to you at one point. They might be cool in a lot of ways. But if them doing stuff like that is starting to outweigh whatever you guys had as friends, you gotta start to think about getting rid of them. Because I finally had to with that one friend. So yeah, she just got worse and worse. So she went from stomping and having the tantrum to just constantly trying to force her way over to my house after me telling her no, don't come over here lots of times. Just like she will not. She just refuses. I even said it in front of her kids too, so they'd remind her, and she's still. It's just insane. But some people don't want to work their way through their trauma. Some people don't want to take control of their own lives and their own behaviors. And decide, that they're not victims. So, what can you do? You can only control yourself at the end of the day. Right? Okay. This is Juliana Angel, your Dark Mass Diva. You guys have a wonderful week, and I will see you soon. Bye-bye.